What's going on, yo? It's Volker here again, and today I'm going to teach you how you can make your own Fortnite thumbnails. So first off, you're going to head over to the website blender.org, click downloads, and then download the latest Blender version. It'll take a quick second to start registering. Just let it run and then let it download. Here we have HDRI Haven, where you can get free HDRIs. It's basically global lighting for Blender. Alright, so now that it's done downloading, just open it up, install it, and this is Windows only. There should be a Mac version, I'm not 100% sure. Just let it install. Okay, so after it's done installing, you can close this out, close out the website, but keep this open because we're going to need it later. Go to your Windows search tab, type in Blender, open it up. You'll be greeted by this screen right here. Dang, it's been a long time since I've seen this. You'll be greeted by this screen. You can set up your preferences for however you want your Blender to look, but me, I'm just going to set mine up as usual. Okay, so first we're going to go to HDRI Haven. You should have that open. Go to the search tab right here and type in approaching storm. Search for it, give it a minute, and then there, just click on it, scroll down, and then download the 4K. If you download any higher, then it'll take hours to render your model, but if you get lower, it'll just make the HDRI look less as good. Go into your shading tab, click on world, and then delete this. Wherever you downloaded your HDRI to, click on it, drag and drop it, and then attach it to your surface. We're going to need Fortnite models. There's something known as Fifth's Blender Pack, where him and a group of people import and upload Fortnite models. They upload them to this folder. I'll leave the link in the description if you guys want to check that out later. But just import your Fortnite models. Give it yours. Let's go with Recon Specialist. Let me find that. Let's use this model for now. So basically we're gonna just import this, and then we have our model in here. You see it here. Put this to cycles, and then click here. We have the basic view of it right now. To get a transparent background, go to film and then click transparent right there. Now we're going to, let's add a denoiser. Just click viewport and then put it towards OptiX. That's probably the best out of all of these. Give it a few minutes to start rendering the kernel, and then it should start working. Okay, so after it's done rendering, you could see right here there's a denoiser. It's not as pixelated as before, but once you give it a few seconds to kick in, you'll see it looks like as if it was rendered already. Click here. It's basically a workbench preview, so you can see everything except for the textures, and it's way less laggy than the previous mode we were in. If you want to cut out the outsides of your camera so you don't see anything on the outside, like any of the models or anything, just click here and then click on viewport display, and the patch route right here, set it. You can either remove it or set it all the way, and I like having mine all the way so I don't see anything around, doesn't get me confused or anything. Then you can make the camera invisible just by clicking this eye right here. No yellow outlines, nothing. After we have the model in, we're gonna need the gun, so just download a weapon. I'm going to be using a SCAR, just keep it simple for now, and then import it. Let's check to make sure. All Fortnite models are supposed to be 0.010. That's their base. That's how they're sized in game. So to start off with this, we're gonna go into pose mode. Here, let's just try this. Click on here, pose mode. Okay, there we go. Okay, so after this, after you get into pose mode like this, Just grab the arm, set this to local, because if it's on global, you can see right here, it's going to be sharp edges and they'll just stay with how Blender's formatted. But if you click local, it'll format with how the bone is already set up. So you can hold control on your keyboard and then rotate. It'll put it into a magnet mode, so it'll automatically lock on every 5 to 10 meter rotations. Just rotate these so they all look straight. Doesn't matter if the bones go past it. And then get out of pose mode, go to the weapon, and we want to rotate this 90. Oh no. And then rotate this to -90. Click here so that we can move the model around, and then bring the model up into the hand. After the model is in the hand, just make sure it's like firmly gripped into it. You might want to rotate these around. So let's try and 85. This looks way better. Okay, notice how the handle is aligned with the 3 fingers down here, and then the trigger is aligned with the index finger. The thumb goes here. We can drag this a bit more back, push it down a bit, and let's start posing. Click up here again, click pose mode, and you're in pose mode. Just rotate these right onto the gun. Doesn't matter if they're clipping, as long as it's not too much. Just keep it as minimal as possible. Once you're done posing your fingers, go out of pose mode. Click on the bones for the weapon, and then click over to this tab right here. See if going to pose mode will do anything. Oh, okay, so this version is different. Okay, click on the root bone. It should say right up here, roots. Click child up, and then when you see .ao, that's how you know it's the character's armature. You want to link it to this, and then put the bone. The bone we're connecting it to is hand right, so hand _R. Then we clear inverse, set inverse, and then the bones are attached to each bone. You can go back here, pose mode, and then reset these. You can reset it by clicking pose, clear transform all, or just click Alt R and Alt G. Once it's done, you're gonna hide these bones, and then we're going back into the camera preview, and then back into pose mode. I'm not gonna do anything too detailed or too hard, just a basic little pose. So when I'm posing and working on the eyes, instead of dragging the eye bones towards the camera, there's this trick I do. You click over here in the track 2, type in camera, click Y and Z. Do it for the other eye too. It automatically tracks the eyes towards the camera view. So if you go in, you can see the character just staring dead into the camera. So now that we have our model posed, we want a better camera angle because this is just too bland. So we can go move around, try to find something way better than what we previously had. I'd like something like this. After you get your camera angle that you like, click view, align active camera to view. Then click over here, go to view, click camera to view, and you can move around your camera from here. After you're done finding the angle you like most, it's time for lighting. Okay, so I finished with my camera angle and I'm checking from the viewport to see how it looks. For this thumbnail, it looks pretty decent. I'm not going to go too much into it as I said before. But now we can get started on lighting. So first, let's head over to this tab right here so we can move around our lights and stuff easier to get angles better. I'm going to start off with a sun, add a sun 3, let's see, 45. Like we're starting to get somewhere with this. Let's add 2, 3. And let's make it a little bit warm by adding an orangish reddish tint to it. Okay, so it's looking pretty good so far. It's kind of sharp as you see on the neck. Let it render in. The lines are pretty sharp, so we want to loosen them up a bit. Make it a little like it's blurry. We'll set the angle to 15. And look how it becomes way lighter than it was before. It's not as sharp. And then we can move from here. Just go to the camera. We can rotate this sun and where it goes. Make the lights look way better on this. Okay, after you're done with the sun, click add light and then add an area. We're going to set this to -90. Drag it up, set this to 1.4, and then set this to 0.5. And we'll drag this over -1, and then set these to 2. Do the same, just copy and paste it, and then set this to 1. Now you can kind of see, this is for rim lighting, you can kind of see how it gets white down here. It's not as much, but you can see a little glow. We're going to set this and then make it warmer. So drag it down towards orange but reddish and set it to 25. Let's see what that does. Same thing with this, we'll drag this to 25, but instead we'll make this more blue. Look back into the camera for you. You can see the difference between the back. This side is more blue, you can see it on the hat, this side is more red. Now if we hide both of these, there's no more lighting coming from the back, so the rim lights are gone. Raise the power of it just to give it a little bit more light sitting in the back. And after we're done with this, it's time to render. Click compositing, use nodes, Shift A, type in denoise, drag and drop it right on the white line, and then there's a little button right here. Click it. It'll start rendering, give it a few minutes depending on how good your PC is, and then just let it run. Okay, so after it's done rendering, click image, save as, and then save it to wherever you want to. I like naming mine short for character, just so I know what's what when I'm making a thumbnail. Go ahead, close this out, save this, render, and then close it. Open up Photoshop. If you don't have it, you could check one of my previous videos. I showed away how you could get Photoshop for free, just if you're interested in it. Gonna go to where we saved the render and then drag and drop it into Photoshop. Now we'll need Fortnite backgrounds. I have this pack coming up that I'm making. It's going to have a bunch of different assets that are Fortnite related. Here it's loading. Okay, so this is the pack that I'm working on. It's filled with assets, clickbait, backgrounds, all these different things, and it has my personal Lightroom in here. This is it. It's better than all the Lightrooms I've ever created and or used. Now in here I have backgrounds from this season that you can use, but you have to purchase the pack. I'm going to be selling it for $10, and I'll link it when I post it. Oh, so let's look for a background that'll fit into this. I'm going to be using this background, just get it to fit in a bit. Okay, so after I add it in, I'll resize it, give it a better perspective, just to make it look like it's more realistic. Maybe come towards here, tilt it a bit, drag it. Oh, so this looks way better than before. We'll start off with the background, make a new layer. Let me drag this, get my brush out, resize, and then make this side more red. Let me see where the render splits. Oh, so this side's more reddish. Let me control U. I can change the color of this. Like this is what we want. And then I'll set this to 15. And then look at the render again, get more of a blue shade. Layer, new. And then color onto the render and around the same side where the blue comes from. Then I'll drag and drop under 15. Now we have, you can kind of see it's more red over here and more blue over here. Let's lower these to 5. Okay, that looks way better. So I'm going to drag and drop vibrance and then set it up. We can go 12, let me see. And 7 right under here. You can see how it makes it more blue purplish, just gives it more vibrant saturated colors. Oh, I did not mean 37, 7. Then I'm gonna drag and drop the render, click Ctrl J to copy it, and then drag it under the main one, click Ctrl U, and then drag the liners all the way up so it'll make it a white layer under. Going back to it, click filter, blur, Gaussian blur, type in 15. After we're done with this, go down here, type in and click on overlay, and then set the opacity to 75 just to give it a little glow behind it. Once we're done with this, hide all of these layers, click on the background layer, Gaussian blur. We can try 3.25, and then click box blur, set it to 2. Bring back all these layers and you can see how it's starting to blend in a bit more. Make a new layer of vibrance and I set that to 12 and then 3. Create a clipping mask for it just so it colors over this layer. And then we're going to need a brightness and contrasts. And then we can say let's create a clipping mask for it first. We can see how it changes the brightness from here. So we want to try to get as close as possible. Let's see. I'd set this around 12 and let's see the contrast. I'll get this around 4. Now you can see the big difference it pulls out from here. Now we're going to create a new layer. Go bring it all the way to white. This is going to help us with rim lighting. Set your brush to about 100 and just kind of go around the border of the skin. Do it for all sides. This will make it look way better. Now create a clipping mask and then not overlay this time. We're going to go to soft light. Down here we're going to make a new layer mask and just kind of brush up around the sides of the rim lighting. You can see how it makes it look way better than it previously was. So after you're done with this, you can hide this. You'll see the difference of the borders. After you're done with this, click Ctrl Shift Alt E, and then it merges all of this into one. Click Filter, Camera Raw, and then here we have Camera Raw. We could change things around with this however we want. I'm just gonna mess around with this, see what settings I get out of here. Okay, after done with this, you can see the big difference between this image and what we previously had. After that, that's all you pretty much have. You could add some color corrections and whatever else you feel should be added in. And that's all I have for you today. Have a good rest of your day.